Welcome to Generally Speaking. I'm your host, Angelo Fioris. Make sure you follow us at USFL Today and make sure you follow our Generals account at NJ_Generals for all the news and notes and all the information you need to keep up with all the happenings involving the New Jersey Generals. And something that's happening today involving the New Jersey Generals is our very cool guest. I'm happy to bring on General Safety Paris Ford. Been trying to connect with you for a while, man. I'm glad you're here. Welcome.
Thank you for having me, man. True blessing.
Yeah, it's good to have you. You were a big part of the Generals defense last season, and I've been wanting to get you on the show, and you're a big part of what's going on this year. You had that great interception the other day, which helped seal the deal. Talk about getting that first one out of the way and springing you toward the rest of the season.
Yeah, well, I had 2 interceptions last year. This season, first game back, I had COVID, so I had missed the Birmingham game. So I just felt like I had to wake them up again, I guess, like I just really felt like I didn't want to be like left behind or, I felt excluded, you feel me? So like, I ain't gonna lie, I just want to make a quick impact the first game I got back. All week I was telling my team, like, man, I'm either gonna have a big hit or interception. Like something's gonna happen for sure. And throughout, Coach Ted called a great defense. Practiced hard all week, practiced defense. It looked just like practice how the ball came. So it's just like felt good to finally get my first interception up.
Yeah. Last year you did not get your first one until around week 6. I want to. Yep. Was it 6? Right. It was the week 6 game. Yep. And that was the first interception made by a general not named Shalom Luani.
So yeah, for sure.
You guys went 5 weeks and Shalom was out for like 3 of those weeks. So when you finally made your interception and you made another one a couple of weeks later, I believe it was week 8, I want to say.
Yeah.
Yeah. You made another one in week 8. And then Shalom came back and picked off 1 or 2 again as well.
Yeah.
So now you got the first one early, which we're hoping for more than 2 this year now, Addy.
Oh no, bro. I mean, I just try to play my role, best as I can, because I'm not a starter. I feel like I bring a lot of energy to the team, once my number's called, and a lot of the guys can vouch for me. I mean, I'm a team first player, so whenever the opportunity presents itself, I'll always be ready to show up for sure. So,
and we've seen that now this year, your first game back, and last year throughout the season. Talk about, you mentioned him for a moment there. Talk about the difference that defensive coordinator Ted Cottrell has made and the impact that he has made on the defense so far this year, Paris.
Man, his defense, it's like it's kind of just smash mouth. Like, last year, no discredit to coach. We had damn, I forgot our coach. What the hell was his name? Excuse my mouth. Shoot. Coach Dish, yeah. His defense was more of like not lackadaisical, but I would say like more of let's see what the offense is giving us first, and then we'll adjust. Coach Ted's just coming out like he want the offense to adjust to us, basically. So like it's just straight smash mouth, basically. A lot of true zone, a lot of man zone. He got a lot of fixes in his defense. I mean, I'm just blessed to be playing with such a great coach like him, and a guy with a lot of experience as well. And it's crazy. A fun fact is, he was one of the Generals' first coaches, man. So it's
yes, he was.
It's true to it's it was meant to be. So he comes in the room, he brings his General jacket.
I saw that.
First official one, man. The whole team talking about something like we trying to get him ordered and stuff, But like I said, Coach Ted's definitely a great man. Love his defense. I love to play for him. And I just want to keep learning and picking his brain much as I can.
Yeah, Coach Cottrell, of course, the defensive line coach of the Generals in 1984 and 1985. He's actually, there's a team photo of the 85 team right there, and he's in that picture on my wall. Yeah, man.
Yeah. That's dope right there.
Pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
So, I like what you said. So the difference this year is philosophically, part of the difference is that you guys are looking to set the tone instead of reacting to the tone.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. 100%. Guys up front making that easier, such as like Toby and Chris. Like instead of them sitting back reading, now from their first hike, they just gone. So it's kind of they make the secondary job a lot easier, both of those guys. So it's like smash mouth football. Like I said, it's not no lackadaisical. See what they're doing. We're going to run what we run and make them adjust. Straight up.
You led me right to my next question, Paris, which was the pass rush this year. Already 7 sacks through 2 games. Only had 10 all of last year. So talk about what a more effective pass rush does for helping make your job either easier or gives you the ability to play differently. Talk about that.
First and foremost, I would like to give a shout out to Coach Daz, our new D-line coach, very young. Came in with a lot of energy. He knew like a couple of the guys. So once you know a person, it's kind of easy to mesh with them, you know. And he came in with like a chip on his shoulder. Like he had that wrote down, like you guys only had this many sacks and this many games. And I feel like we put an emphasis on that, like this year, like coming in, we're like, bro, there's no way we don't get more than 10 sacks this year. And we're more than halfway there. We're only on week 3. But they just been playing relentless and hungry, man. Like I always say, guys, like when you got a guy like Toby who's been around great football for years, it's easy. He coaches everyone up. I would say guys like who else? Colin, who really probably don't get mentioned a lot.
Colin Hill.
Colin Hill, yes, sir. Real silverback. I mean, guys like him, I salute it because they're doing the dirty work and no one really talks about them. So, like, got Bryson, another guy who does a lot of dirty work who don't get mentioned, but
off to a great start as well with a sack and a half for himself for the first 2 games.
Humble guy too, real down to earth dude too as well, man. But yeah, like guys like that, man, when you're hungry and you want something, you can't stop them. Those are real grown men coming at you. So I just sit back. Hopefully they get to the quarterback. Once the ball in there, I'll handle the rest. So like, you know, I just feel like they're more hungry this year. That's all I can really say, man. Shout out to Coach Daz, man, for real.
Yeah, everybody's been shouting out Coach Daz so far. He's the next guy that we have to get on the show. That's for sure.
For real, man. Hey, that's gonna be a dope interview. I can't wait to see that.
I can't wait to get him on now. We're going to have to make a connection here and get Coach Dez on in the next couple of weeks. If I don't get him before I see him in Canton for week 4, we'll try to hook that up. That would be good because
I got you, man.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And, you know, the technique that he has been teaching to the guys has just been, it's like night and day in what we're seeing because a year ago, the defensive line was able to pressure the quarterback. They were making them uncomfortable and flushing them out, but almost on every occasion they were able to slip away. And almost every time. It was so frustrating because guys are diving at him, getting a hand on him, and there's I could think of Shea Patterson escaping on a 4th and 20 in the first Michigan game when you guys had him dead and buried in their own territory.
I remember that.
You remember that and kept the drive going.
Yes, he did.
Those are the kinds of things that I think a pass rush that actually gets to the quarterback will help eliminate some of those 3rd and longs that you guys gave up last year because the quarterback found time to scurry around and avoid the rush. Big 4th downs that you gave up a year ago. So that will help the offense as well.
That's what, like you said, and like getting sacks, man. Football is all about field position. You know, if you could keep backing the team up, shit, that's more room to punt. But like I was saying, man, this is our last time. Coach Daz, real one, man. I definitely salute him so much because the energy he came with last year's D-line coach. No discredit to him, great coach. But he just wasn't. He didn't really put that fire underneath those guys. Like I let Toby run the show. Toby's obviously the D-line captain, of course, but like he coaches Toby just how he would coach a backup or something like that. Like, and that's something that a lot of football coaches need to do. Like, coach everyone the same. Like, I'm not a coach. I'm a player, and I just play. I do what I'm told to do. Right. But for farther NFL, all that stuff, you want to coach everyone the same, and that's one thing Coach Daz do, as long as he knows the guy or not, and that's why I respect him the way I do.
Who's your main man on the roster? Who do you hang with the most?
I ain't gonna lie, everybody, man, everybody.
That's what everybody says.
Yeah, I wouldn't lie. I mean, I feel like everybody, but of course it's gonna be a DB. Like I hang with probably DJ Daniels because that's literally my next door. He probably could hear me through this wall talking at him.
All right.
But DJ Daniels, Drayvon, because he's literally from 30 minutes where I'm from. I'm from Pittsburgh. He's from Aliquippa. just 30 minutes. And Christian Tuck for real. And those are probably like my three, like who I'm with all the time. But my big man, I like the D linemen, they love me, man. Like Toby's my guy, Tyshawn Renner, my guy, KT, Kevin Thornton, those was all my guys. Like I ain't gonna lie, everybody, but DBs, we stay together for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
Of course. And now we've got the Panthers coming up on Sunday. Big game. They've got some great receivers.
Mm-hmm.
They've got like 4 really good receivers.
I wouldn't say that, but
they've got effective weapons. They've shown them through the first couple of weeks. So what do you do? What sort of game plan do you employ against a team that can spread it around like that?
Nah, I was just joking. I give credit to the Michigan team. They definitely hit a whole 360 from the team they was last year, just in the first 2 games from watching the film. But I ain't gonna lie, like you said, they got weapons. They got a great running back. I think Reggie Corbin's, if not top 3, he's definitely one of the best backs in this league for sure. Most respect to him and Joe Walker. He's definitely a great ball player. But I would say, man, we stay the same. We don't change nothing for nobody. I would say we run the calls. We practice them all week. Let's execute now. And that's all we got to do. I mean, I can't get into as far as the game plan, like we're going to blitz, man, zone. I can't get into that, but I know.
I don't want to know.
I know for sure we'll run what we run and make them adjust for sure. Just got to execute. That's the biggest thing this week is just execution, man. Try to slow down 3, obviously. And that's really it, man. Just try to force their quarterback to beat us. To me, like, just don't let one player dictate this game. And I feel like we should come out victorious. To be honest,
I feel like it's going to be a very good game. There's going to be a crowd cheering on the Panthers. So that's going to be a different element that you guys didn't face all that often last year. Only 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, right.
You see a crowd. So now you'll get one. You'll get one in Michigan for sure.
Yeah, I like crowds. It's so crazy. We're going back to Ford Field. Like I played there. My red shirt junior year at Pitt, we had a quick lane bowl in Detroit at this field. So last time, not to mention, I had 13 tackles in this field. So I just feel like if I get my right reps, it's going to be another show for sure. For sure.
Who'd you play in that bowl game?
We played against Eastern Michigan in the Quick Lane Bowl 2019.
So only about 40 minutes from their campus.
Yeah, literally. They came with a decent amount of crowd too. So yeah, they did. It's so crazy. Not to mention the guy on our team, we just signed him to our roster probably like a week ago. His last name, Tyree Cleveland. He plays receiver for us. I played against him for Eastern Michigan when he played, and it's crazy. We're teammates, and we're both going back here like this week to play on the same team. It's just weird how God works. Like, I never thought I'll see him again, none of that, but now we're on teams, and I don't know. That's crazy though how stuff just work, like little stuff like that.
Yeah, it's a small business, the football business, right? It's a major industry, but it's a small business. You start talking to some of the kickers, and those guys are like in each other's weddings for like years. So they all know each other.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
I like staying in Canton for the extended period of time.
It's cool, man. It's not too far from home, which is Pittsburgh for me. Literally 2 hours away.
2 hours, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's not bad at all. It's low. I can get my peace of mind here. I'm not around like a lot of stuff. I got my own place. I just be really just trying to vibe and just keep trying to mature and grow every day, like by myself. And that's the main thing. I'll definitely say it's just kind of boring here, but it's like it's good though. It's good boring. It's what I need. So.
Right, to stay focused because you're there for a job, right?
153%.
Right. Have you had an opportunity? I know you guys did it last year as a walkthrough the day before the playoffs, but have you had a chance to go back and check out the Hall of Fame Museum since you've been in Canton this year?
That's great. That's a great question, and I really haven't. I think I need to do that because when we was up here last year in the playoffs, it was pretty dope, like going around and seeing all that stuff. Like Aaron Donald, a guy from my hometown, he got like a little section in there. I seen one of my favorite safeties, John Lynch, one of the best to do it. I didn't even know he was in the Hall of Fame, but I really didn't. But I seen that. I'm like, okay. It gave me a little bit of chills, but I definitely got to recheck that out. I haven't got time to yet.
And sticking with players of the past, when you were an impressionable young player, say growing up, and you were watching football I imagine you were probably a Steeler fan growing up.
Die hard, still to this day.
All right, so there you go. So who did you grow up wanting to emulate, or who was your favorite player, whether it was defense or offense?
Troy Polamalu, number one. Ed Reed, number two. And RIP Sean Taylor. It was my three, like my top three. And my fourth, if I had to trickle somebody in there, Charles Woodson, for sure.
Nice. That's a great
the
list.
only defensive player to win the Heisman.
Right.
So yeah, that's my top. Those are guys who I always emulated my game after. But if you want to go old school, definitely Ronnie Lott and Jack Tatum, for sure.
I love that. I love that. Ronnie Lott, of course, was, just a legend forever. And Jack Tatum was known as the assassin.
Yeah,
he's a New Jersey guy from Passaic, New Jersey. I don't know if you knew that. Oh yeah,
I ain't know that.
Yeah, the assassin was from New Jersey. So
that's dope.
So there you go. That's a great list. I love the players that you chose because every one of them were guys that I enjoyed watching as well. That's great stuff. Let's talk about Coach Riley for a minute. I mean, I know where this conversation's going because everyone says the same kind of stuff. See, there it is. I mean, talk about that for a second, man.
Man, he's just contagious. Like I don't know, like how you could come in every day smiling, make everyone laugh. I mean, like everyone goes through their fair share thing, but it's like nothing don't faze him. And that's something that I learned. I'll be trying to take from him, but like just keep the same mood. Like don't never let no one change your mood. And that's kind of something he tells me. Like one time I'll have for example, I'll have a great practice. And then I'll probably not blow a call. Say if we got a missed assignment in the back end, and I'll get down on myself. Like I'm hard on myself. So like he'll come to me, hey, don't let your mood change. Don't throw away good. Like I love Coach Riley, man. That's all I gotta say. Anything he needs to be done will be done. And I love that man to death for giving me a second chance at this football thing. So I really do appreciate that man. He's the most genuinest man I've been around. That's really all it is. Like Coach Riley is Coach Riley, man. He's a one of one. Actually, he's a one of none. Like they don't make him like him no more.
It's pretty amazing because it's a unanimous voice from you guys as far as the feelings about Coach. And I've spoken with him only a few times briefly, but you can see that he's the kind of person that goes out of his way to make everybody that comes across his path feel important and that they mean something. And it's pretty cool.
I promise. And that's like, he's always smiling. Like, it's just, he's always smiling. That's stuff like, sometimes you have a bad day, I swear you'll see a smile. You'll be like, okay, it gives you a warm smile. I love Coach Riley, man. I just want to hug him.
Nothing fake about that.
Not at all. Hell no, not at all.
Hey, let me ask you, because, NFL football, we've all been watching it forever. And a lot of the stuff that goes on in college football, which is, rah-rah and that sort of thing, doesn't really happen in pro football. But in your locker room, you guys do with Coach Riley, hip, hip, hooray.
Hip,
hooray. 3 times, right? And it's fun to watch because you guys totally get into it. But tell the truth, though. Like the first couple times were people like, what is this cornball stuff? Or were you into it right away? Tell the truth.
I ain't gonna lie. It was the first day. It was different for me. Because okay, we won. He goes hip hip, and then I'm looking around like, what are we doing at first? But when everyone's going around, like when it's together, when one band, one sound, it sounded good, pretty dope. So it just grew on us, and then we did it. We do it after every victory, and that's something we can't wait. Because Coach Riley, that's the loudest he'll talk. He won't never yell. He won't never scream. But when we do that hip hip hooray, he's gonna raise that voice up.
That's amazing. That's amazing because every coach that you've probably ever played for raises their voice when they're angry, right?
Yes,
and Coach Riley only raises his voice when he's happy.
I swear, I swear.
Amazing.
Yes,
Paris, this was a great chat, man. I wish we could keep going on and on, but you got to get ready to head to. You guys are heading to Detroit, tomorrow, I guess?
Tomorrow, yes, sir. 1 p.m.
1 p.m. And then got about a day to rest before the kickoff. So good luck against Michigan on Sunday.
Thank you so much, man.
And we will speak with you. I'll see you week 4 in Canton for the matchup against New Orleans, Paris.
Let's do this again, man. Definitely. Thank you for having me. I genuinely do appreciate you for reaching out. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome, man. I appreciate you coming on and tell all the other guys, tell DJ Daniel and tell Draymond, Ask You Henry, and you tell all the guys that I don't know yet. I'm connected with a bunch of you. Toby's my main man, of course.
Okay.
But let's get everybody their turn, because that would be fantastic.
Absolutely. I promise you. I'll hook that up for you, man.
Harris Ford, ladies and gentlemen, that wraps up this edition of Generally Speaking. Make sure that you follow us on Twitter at NJ_Generals. That's correct. Also follow us on YouTube so you don't miss a single episode of any of our shows. That's at USFL Today. And don't forget, Saturday mornings, Fox Sports Radio, New Jersey.com. It's the New Jersey Generals pregame show live on the air. And then if you miss it live, it does get archived on the station website. But that's it for this edition. We will see you next time.
Thank you.
And we're out.
Double G, baby.